You're watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Let's get down to business. So, Stephen A. Smith has been doing his wheeling and dealing on his YouTube channel, Stephen A. Smith Show, in regards to Shannon Sharpe and Michael Irvin. Now, we will start with Shannon Sharpe. We all know the history. Don't need to go down that memory hole again. He has made it known, both of them has made it known that ESPN has been talking to Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe confirmed this, and Stephen A. Smith confirmed this yesterday on his show. Now, to what extent Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe is going to collab is unknown at this point. That's why the negotiations are going on. What's up, TV's TX Main? Salute to you. But Stephen A. Smith has made it perfectly clear on his show yesterday that he wants Shannon Sharpe on First Take. He made no bones about it. Now, I'm gonna play some. I'm going back and forth as whether or not to play some excerpts from that. I wanted to get the listening viewer, the proper context behind a lot of this stuff. So yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. Let's go and look at this so that way you can get the proper context, right? Because he made no bones about what his intentions are. He made no bones about it. Fair use, fair use. So let's see what Stephen A. had to say. Fair use is in full effect. Fair use policy is in full effect.
Get right into it. Because I know that news has been percolating over the last few days that Shannon Sharpe is coming to First Take. I'm not going to tell you that's true. I'm not going to tell you it's not either. What I can tell you is that the honchos are talking to Shannon Sharpe. What I can tell you is that the honchos are fully aware that Stephen A. Smith wants Shannon Sharpe on First Take. Now, don't get it twisted. I want Ryan Clark, too, from the pivot. I want him pivoting his behind right to First Take several times a week because I love my brother. Swagoo, Marcus Spears, I want him on First Take. Dan Orlovsky, okay? A.K.A. the White Urkel. I love you dearly, my brother. I want you on First Take, too.
Okay, so that's him trying to clean it up. That's him trying to, muddy the waters, so to speak, as to throw you off the scent when it comes to what his real intentions are. Nothing against Swagoo, whoever his name is, or Marcus Spears, nothing against Dan Orlovsky or whoever, right? Or Ryan Clark to some extent. Nothing against those guys. but those guys are not draws. Those guys will not bring the ratings necessary. Sure, you could bring them on as a contributor. Sure, they can come in and, provide commentary for a segment or two, but they are not ratings draws. They are not.
Kimberly Martin, Mina Combs. I want you on first thing, Mad Dog Russo. Yeah. I want you on that too, and I'll get into Michael Irvin in just a second. But make no mistake about it. I'm not apologizing to a damn show. I want Shannon Sharpe on First Take. And I aim to get him.
See? That's what he said. See? Y'all heard it right out of his mouth that he want Shannon Sharpe on First Take. He made no bones about it.
We are definitely talking to Shannon Sharpe. The conversations are official. The reports have not been misnomers or misreports or anything like that. We are talking to him, and I'm hopeful, very hopeful, and very confident that ultimately we will be announcing sooner than later that he will be on First Take. Anything can happen now, because I don't make those decisions. I have bosses, executives like Dave Roberts and Burt Magnus and Jimmy Pitaro. They make the decisions. Stephen A. is not the boss.
Oh, but you got influence within them bosses. You got influence, Stephen A. You got massive influence, especially with Dave Roberts. Now, for those of you who may not be aware who Dave Roberts is the guy, black man, who sets the schedules and he sets the people who will be on these shows. Dave Roberts was also the guy responsible for getting Rachel Nichols fired after Rachel Nichols' tape was exposed about her talking trash to Maria Taylor. Now, this was during the height of the pandemic. So, while Stephen A. is not the decision maker, as he has to himself eloquently alluded to, but you got influence. You got influence. Why you think all those guys end up on your shows? Because of your recommendation.
Okay, I answer to them. They make those decisions. They're the bosses. So contractual agreements and all of this other stuff have to come into play. But damn it, Shannon, Club, Shay, and anything else, I don't give a damn if he brings a bottle of Hennessy with him. I want him on First Take.
And you gonna get him on First Take. You gonna get him on First Take, Stephen A. The way you out here going these massive histrionics and blithering and blathering and bloviating the bottom and all that over the past couple months, ever since Shannon Sharpe decided to leave Undisputed and Fox Sports and take his Club Shay with him, you've been on record. That's right. You've been on record saying that you wanted him. And Shannon Sharpe, further fanned the flames by saying that, well, I'm not going to be off TV for much long. Stay tuned. Wonder what that's all about.
This politically correct stuff and being quiet. I want Shannon Sharpe on First Take. Okay? Period. Because I'm proud of the work that he's done. I'm proud of his career as a football player. 3-time Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, knows this damn football. I'm good with him. And I'm not one of those insecure brothers that's scared of his greatness, thinking that it's going to sully mine. No. Iron sharpens iron.
Now, that part right there was a dig at Skip Bayless. What he just said right there was a dig at Skip Bayless. I'm playing that little part right there again. That part right there, what he said was a dig at Skip Bayless.
Scared of his greatness, thinking that it's going to sully mine. No. Iron sharpens iron. We elevate one another. Because when it comes to television, when it comes to being in front of a microphone or a camera, I'm not taking a back step to any damn body. Yeah, I sound a little loud today and all of this other stuff. What's going on? Stephen A's off vacation. That's what the hell's going on. I'm rested. 10 hours a day, asleep, loving the beach, chilling. I did drink a few tequilas and, some vanilla milkshake with rum, because that's some of my favorite stuff. Now, I know some of y'all out there with this sleeveless shirt and all of that stuff. Listen, you look at those reports online all you want to. This is me right here, not that damn ugly ass picture that they put out there, okay? This is me right here. And if this don't look good enough for you, sorry. This is the best I got to offer. But let me tell you something right now. On my best day, I wouldn't be the Hulk. That would be Shannon, okay? I mean, damn it, I'm not only interested in him being on First Take. I might have to talk to my man Juvie about having a partner for security. Because if I got Shannon with Juvie with me, damn it, I'm Superman. I might as well be bulletproof. Hell yeah. So when I saw the reports, in all seriousness, I thought it was my obligation to come to all of you and to let you know, yeah, the talks are serious. I want this brother on First Take. I want him as a part of the ESPN family. And I want him to have a shinier light placed on him than a few of the times than we last saw him.
That was another dig at Skip Bayless. I want him to have a shining light than the few times that we saw him. That was another dig at Skip Bayless. What he just said right there, those two things right there. I'm not afraid of his greatness, that he is so great that it's going to sully mine. That was a dig at Skip Bayless, number one. Dig number two was that what you just heard right there. Which is part of the reason why you're not going to see a Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith reunion ever again. Stephen A. Smith has creative control. Skip Bayless has creative control. So when you get two alpha males in the same room at the same time, and even though I don't like his ass, even though I think he is a buck dancing sellout, but Marcellus Wiley was absolutely right, because he alluded to this on his YouTube channel, to where this is a power struggle. The whole dynamic between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe was a power struggle. Skip Bayless was this control freak, this micromanager of everything, and Shannon Sharpe was this guy. He has become very popular. He is way bigger than Skip Bayless at this point, because you can tell the numbers by his YouTube channel. His Club Shay is over 1 million subscribers. Skip Bayless's YouTube channel ain't even nowhere near that. So when you factor all that in, you got a situation where Shannon Sharpe's like, I don't need you. And the more you disrespect me, the more I'm inclined to not take that bullshit no more and take my ass somewhere else. And that's exactly what happened. When Shannon Sharpe left the day after the NBA Finals, you think that was a coincidence? Because Skip Bayless did the same thing back in 2016 when the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. The next day, Skip Bayless left ESPN, and 3 months later was on Fox Sports doing Undisputed alongside Shannon Sharpe. You don't think that was a coincidence? Shannon Sharpe leaving the day after the NBA Finals, after the Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat? You think that was a coincidence? Because Skip Bayless did the same damn thing. What's up, R. Jizzle, Marco Hinton, Carla Jenkins, Octavius TX May? Salute to all y'all in the building. If you feel like you're in a giving mood, There's my Cash App. There's my PayPal. Any and all donations are accepted and appreciated. Also, I'm also running a Patreon to where it's only $5 a month. The Sports and Political Channel of LB on the Patreon, to where I cover content on there that you will not get on here due to YouTube's guidelines. It's only $5 a month. Please support me in that endeavor as well. Now back to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress. Stephen A. Smith knows what the hell he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to put everybody through this maze and all that. The fact of the matter is, I'm calling it right here. You're probably not going to hear it nowhere else, but I'm calling it right here. When the NFL season begins, don't be surprised if you have Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, and Michael Irvin at the same place at the same time doing commentary. We'll get to Michael Irvin here in a minute. But let's continue on with what he has to say about Shannon Sharpe.
I'm not throwing shade on anybody, especially not him, and especially not my man Skip Bayless.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are, because you wouldn't have said none of that stuff if you wasn't. Yes, you were. You can try to play this off like, well, I'm not trying to shade anybody. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. Then why'd you say that? Why'd you say those two things right there? The jury is looking for answers.
But what happened, happened. It was for public consumption. And I knew at that moment it was the beginning of the end. That day, January 4th, 2023, was the day that I knew Shannon Sharpe would be gone from Undisputed on FS1. Because I know Skip. I know some folks on that show, all great people, by the way. I just know that watching television and knowing the business the way that I do and seeing what happened, that there was no way that that relationship could continue, no matter how anybody tried to floss over it. Something like that serious, doesn't happen. And that serious of a divide takes place before all of our very eyes, and survival is a part of the equation. Doesn't happen. I knew that day that Shannon Sharpe would be gone at the very latest by the end of the NBA season. And sure enough, the last day, the day after the NBA season concluded, when the Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship over the Miami Heat, here was Shannon Sharpe the very next day.
But one more thing before you go, Skip. Okay. One more thing. All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, you know I gave you everything I had.
You did.
I gave you everything I had.
Which is why I want to thank you for all you have given to me.
Amen. I was proud of Shannon that day. I was proud of Skip that day. And I get to say that because I've known Skip for over 2 decades. And I've come to know Shannon, and I got more and more love for him every day that I get to talk to him. And yes, we have spoken recently. He actually hollered at me while I was on vacation in the Isles. So, again, nothing's finalized. There's still work to be done. But make no mistake about it. ESPN is talking to him, and make no mistake about it, it's primarily because I want them to talk to him, because I want to win. Now, I've been winning, but you don't win standing still.
You heard it right there. He's made it crystal clear that he is trying to end Undisputed. He's trying to end them. So whenever ESPN decides to pull the trigger and bring in Shannon Sharpe, you know that's going to be a massive ratings draw, because people are going to want to know well, we all know what led up to him leaving. We all know that. But this dynamic to where you got a rival coming over to your network and breaking bread and doing business, people want to see that. people could be intrigued. Now, no, Marco Hayden, you can make it's three. It's three raccoons getting together. But anyway, because we ain't talked about Michael Irvin yet. Let's talk about him. We're gonna shift gears and we're gonna talk about Michael Irvin. Now, y'all remember Michael Irvin was a frequent contributor on First Take, especially during last season's NFL coverage. On that Monday, Stephen A. Smith would bring on Michael Irvin, and them two would go on the most over-the-top histrionics known to man. Now, while a few of us was quite annoyed by that, a lot of people enjoyed it. No matter how corny you thought it was, no matter how loud and boisterous and over the top they were, it worked. It worked. And Michael Irvin was set to do commentary on First Take until, and this was during the Super Bowl, until he was hit with those allegations of sexual impropriety. What's up, Monterey Moore? Oh, salute to my man Monterey Moore in the building. Monterey Moore has been with me since day one. And I appreciate you being with me every step of the way, my brother. So salute to Monterey Moore in the building. He got a YouTube channel. Go sub to my brother there, Monterey Moore. He was hit with those allegations of sexual impropriety. And all it took was an allegation. Not no proof, not nothing. All it took was somebody crying wolf about Michael Irvin being this sex predator. Yeah, because, you let a lot of these people in the mainstream media tell it. Oh, hey, Michael Irvin was telling this white woman what it was like to have a big black man inside of him, inside of her. Now, ain't no black man I know talk like that. Ain't no black man I know that's going to be like, hey, do you know what it's like to have a big black man inside of you? What are we in the UK? We don't talk like that. And that, along with other lies and innuendos and assumptions and fake outrage, got Michael Irvin kicked off TV. Got him kicked off the ESPN coverage for the Super Bowl, and it got him sent home from NFL Network. Now, evidence has pointed to a completely different story that's not being told. Because, see, the lie was being told about Michael Irvin being this predator. But what's not being told is the actual truth. Now, I got the video up, and that had to be like one of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel, where I broke down the whole thing from start to finish. Michael Irvin did not do anything near what was alleged and what was projected onto him. And as a result of these lies, he's still off TV. And to this very moment, he is not employed with the NFL. Well, he's still suspended with the NFL Network and ESPN. And Stephen A. Smith has made it known that he wants Michael Irvin back. Now, for a long time, we was wondering about why didn't Stephen A. Smith come to Michael Irvin's defense? Why didn't Stephen A. Smith saying something? This man, he clearly getting railroaded. And then he finally came out and said something about it. Now, I will say this. Given how tight their relationship's at, given how tight their relationship was on camera, right? Given the chemistry that they had doing skits together and all that, I came to the conclusion that Stephen A. Smith did talk to Michael Irvin behind the scenes. Now, Stephen A. ain't gonna make that up ain't make that kind of information up to be for public consumption. He's not gonna put that out there in the atmosphere for us to, take that in and massage it and mold it into our little narrative or whatever like that. But you had to know, given their chemistry on TV, the skits they did on First Take and stuff like that, they had to talk about this behind the scenes. They had to. There was no way that Stephen A. Smith could not say something on camera, and I think he's intentionally, for a long time, kept that under wraps. But you had to know that they talked about this situation behind the scenes. You would be a complete idiot if you didn't think so. Your head had to be in the sand or in the clouds to not believe that Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin did not talk about this privately on the phone. And they're still good friends to this day. He's made it known that he wants Michael Irvin back. He's made it known that he wants Michael Irvin back. Know why? Because those allegations against him were a nothing burger. Those allegations against Michael Irvin was a nothing burger. And if those allegations was true, those allegations against Michael Irvin was true, you think Stephen A. Smith will be on record right now saying that he wants Michael Irvin back? Do you think if those allegations that was against Michael Irvin, right? If that camera came out saying that, showing that Michael Irvin was out there doing what the Marriott and saying that he did or whatever, you think Stephen A. Smith would be on record saying that, hey, I want Michael Irvin back too? It would have been highly unlikely Stephen A. Smith would have put his name on that. There would have been no way Stephen A. Smith would have been on record attaching his name to Michael Irvin. So, if you got a situation where he's publicly advocating and campaigning for Shannon Sharpe and Michael Irvin to be on First Take, now if you don't believe me, let's just go on Twitter. Let's just go on Twitter for, just for, verification, I like to call it. Right there in big old letters, while I'm at it, I want Michael Irvin back on First Take too. So you have to know that ESPN and NFL Network is watching these developments closely when it comes to this case. Now, me personally, I don't know what's taking so long to clear Michael Irvin's name. Now, make no mistake, Michael Irvin is a buck dancer, okay? This man came in defense of Jerry Jones when Jerry Jones' high school photo back in 1957 back in Arkansas came out about him, right? Remember when that photo came out about Jerry Jones in high school? And Michael Irvin was one of the first people to rush to his defense. Stephen A. Smith, another guy, rushed to his defense. So let's not lose sight of that. Having said that, though, what was alleged against Michael Irvin when it comes to that sexual impropriety, I don't know what's taking so long for that case to be dismissed. But ESPN and NFL Network are really looking to the situation closely. They are looking into it. And should Michael Irvin's name get cleared, which I fully expect that it will. And you know, Monterey Moore, that's a good question. Why didn't Jerry Jones come to Michael Irvin's defense? That's a good question. Really good question. We still trying to unclog the pipeline on that one. But anyway, I fully expect his name to get cleared. And when it does, I would not be surprised if Stephen A. Smith advocates for Shannon Sharpe and Michael Irvin. You may not see them all the time, but at least on a Monday after the games, on a Monday, come in and provide contributing coverage of the NFL on First Take. I'm calling it right now. Now, nothing like I said before, nothing against guys like Ryan Clark and the Swag U guy. Can't remember. Man, I just forgot his name just that quickly. And Dan Orlovsky. Nothing against those guys. Right? No disrespect, no shade, no nothing against them guys, you know? But they're not ratings draws. Marcus Spears. Nothing against Marcus Spears, Dan Orlovsky, or Ryan Clark, or any of those guys. There's nothing against them. No shade, no disrespect, none of them guys. Those guys will not bring in the ratings. Sure, you can bring them on for a segment or two or whatever like that, but they are not ratings draws. Nobody's going to be like, hey, man, did you hear what Ryan Clark said yesterday? Oh, hey, that Dan Orlovsky guy, that Dan Orlovsky guy is really knowledgeable about his football. And he is very he's very characteristic, and he's highly characteristic. They're not saying none of that about any of them guys. Those guys are not ratings draws. Michael Irvin, no, is a ratings draw. Shannon Sharpe is a ratings draw. And we all know Stephen A. Smith is a ratings draw, and he's pretty much got sway and some say within the ESPN brass. But he'll be like, hey, man, I can't make no decisions. I'm not the decision maker. But you are heavily influenced. Because they see that's what's not being talked about. Stephen A. Smith has massive influence. That's why he's getting paid the amount of money he's getting paid. Sure, he has to, do other ventures in ESPN, whether it be Countdown for NBA, maybe going on assignment or whatever like that. They've run this ride ragged. Doing NFL, doing UFC, doing this, doing that within the company. But don't be surprised if you see these three on the same set at the same time on a Monday after football. When they, basically where everybody and their daddy and mama want to be the Monday morning quarterback. Now, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share these videos on your social media platforms. We're on our way to 2,000 subs, and I want to take the time out to thank everyone that subscribed to my channel. This is not something I take for granted, and would just be another Joe Schmo on this platform here, just talking trash or whatever like that, if you guys weren't showing me the support that you are showing me at this moment in time. And I really do appreciate the love and support. I appreciate you lending me your ears. And we're going to continue to grow way past 2G, on our way to 10G, 100G, 100,000G. And we ain't going to stop. As long as I'm drawing a breath, as long as I'm able to operate a computer or a cell phone, I'm going to put out this commentary. What's up, work season? Salute to you. If this is your first time here, welcome. And we're going to continue to grow this thing. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And be on the lookout for subsequent videos. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the LDBC, Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Oh!